another point of observation and see the world in a way you couldn't see it before.
Yeah, and
your perception was clouded.
Yeah, and in the Chinese system, of course, David Icke proved over 5,000 years that these different anger and fear, resentment, then they relate to a particular organ because of that vibration, like the liver, or the kidney, or the gallbladder.
Yeah, and there's a very, very simple explanation for that.
Huh.
We live in a holographic universe in terms of the so-called physical level of it. And one amazing characteristic of a hologram is that every part of the hologram is a smaller version of the whole. If you cut a holographic print of a picture or something, of some image, into four, and then you fired the laser at the four pieces, you wouldn't get a quarter part of the whole picture in each. You'd get a quarter version of the whole picture. You get a quarter version of the whole picture, not a quarter part of the whole picture. And so, because the body is a hologram, everything's a hologram within physical reality, it means that your foot must be a smaller version of the whole body. And this is how reflexology and acupuncture, etc., can find places on the foot, on the hand, on the ears, everywhere, which can affect the whole bodies, because they're different smaller versions of the whole body. This is why a single cell can grow a whole body, because it's the cell is a minute, smaller version of the whole body. And this goes all the way through. So therefore, the emotions that operate at this level are holographic. Thoughts are holographic. Therefore, they are also smaller versions of the whole, if you like, and must interconnect with each other. So this emotion will connect in as a version of this organ, and so the two affect each other. You know, I mean, what's interesting is that when you look at these old wives' tales, like someone's a pain in the backside. Well, the meridian line in acupuncture that is affected by the emotion of frustration, if you like, of the pain in the backside, actually, and the way they're treating you, goes through and affects the sciatic nerve. So they're literally a pain in the backside.
Yeah.
For if it's extreme enough, so everything's connected to everything else.
Yeah. Here's an email from Sheila. She is in Ohio and wants to know, she's always been fascinated with your work with the reptilian kind of idea and some of the powers that be. She wants to know if these people know that they are not human, know that they are reptiles. Do they know that they know?
Again, everything, the whole control system and the family network is fiercely compartmentalized. So the vast majority of people who are daily contributing to human enslavement have no idea at the lower levels that's what they're doing, and even at the higher mid-levels, the real extreme nature and connected nature of everything. But when you get to the peak of the pyramid, or the center of the web, if you like, you get to the House of Rothschild, you get to the Rockefellers and such like, you get to the British royal family, the Windsors, and that kind of level. Absolutely, they know. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my goodness, yes. The children may not know until a certain point, but oh my goodness me, they know. Yes, absolutely, they do. And they know that they are vehicles, hybrid vehicles for entities that are not human. Absolutely, they know that.
So here's an email from Randall. He said, "What do you see will transpire in the world scene within the next 5 to 10 years? If you were on a game show and you had to give some ideas what you see happening, what kind of things would you tell them?"
Well, I see the control system moving along, becoming more extreme, or seeking to become more and more extreme in the next few years. And at the same time, there is an awakening going on, and it's going to get more and more difficult for that control system to impose itself. I mean, look at the swine flu thing. I mean, they expected people to line up for that, enormous numbers. What they wanted was to get a large number, maybe 80% or more, to accept it voluntarily, and then they could start to target those that were refusing as in terms of compulsory vaccination. They got nowhere near 80%, so they nothing like. So I mean, in some places 20% or less, and therefore they could not impose that. Now, why did that come about? Because of communication, of awareness of the background, and the fact that at the very least you should be very, very wary of why this is happening. As a result, they're now in disarray. It's shattered. It just shows the power of what can be done if we come together and make this a priority in our lives to bring this nonsense to an end, so that we can relax and then enjoy the true, full nature of who we are and the reality, and not the pathetic limitation that we are experiencing. So I see more and more of that. I see them trying to censor the internet more and more. Mm-hmm. But I don't know whether you know this, but the first book I ever wrote since after my awakening, I wrote it in 1990, and it came out in very early 91, and its title was Truth Vibrations. And this was because in those very, very early days after I had my explosion in my head in 1991, I came up with this theme. I picked up this theme. I didn't invent it. I picked up this theme of information that was coming to me, that there was going to be a revolution of human consciousness, and this was going to be in my lifetime, mm-hmm. and there was going to be brought about by a vibrational change that would wake people up. It would act like a spiritual alarm clock. Now, in this new book, I go into this in a lot more detail, because I understand it far more profoundly now, and it's so simple how it all works. But so what is happening? Because this vibrational change, these truth vibrations, they can't just come in one go, because the vibrational change would actually literally blow people's minds. It's got to be done in a coordinated way, because this is very, very powerful, more and more powerful energy, i.e., much greater expanded information and awareness that's coming in, and it's going to continue. Now, someone who wrote a book called Truth Vibrations 20 years ago that was going to be the spiritual awakening of humanity in a whole new era, someone like that, i.e. me, should be saying, see, 2012, Mayan calendar, I told you. No, I'm not saying that. I think the Mayan thing is a massive diversion. By 2012, these truth vibrations, and by the way, in 1990, when I first wrote about them, there was no evidence of a human awakening. Look now, 20 years later, my goodness, all over the world, it's happening. Mm-hmm. And more and more profoundly, more and more obviously, more and more people. And this... these truth vibrations are going to continue to expand, get more powerful, get more effective. They're going to start affecting more and more people who are in lower levels of density and have not picked up that vibe yet. They're going to start affecting them. And so I see by 2016, 17, 18, around that period, I see this, what I was told about 20 years ago, that there was the human race, the human collective consciousness was going to awaken from its amnesia. In my lifetime, I'm 58 in April, and so, we're not talking 50 years from now, if that's correct, and I know it is, then we're going to see this whole control system come down. That doesn't mean that we sit around and say, we just sit and wait for it. No, we're part of it. We're an expression of it, and we need to play our part in it and express this new awakening, this new consciousness, this new awareness in the way that we live our lives. We are part of it. We're not apart from it.
So each one of us individually has our own experience, so to speak, to realize. So it's up to us to do things that may be uncomfortable, or stretching ourselves, or opening our minds a little more, or letting go of old constructs. And we're all part of that system. We have to do our part because that's why we're here.
Yes, and also, Patrick, when you look at different levels of this, because you can sit next to your you could stand next to a wall about 2 inches away, and you can look at it, and you've got a certain perception. What is it? It's just this ready kind of rough thing. What is it? Then you take a step back, or a few steps back, and you see that actually it's part of a house. So then you go further back, you see it's part of a street. And you're looking at the same thing, but from a completely different point of awareness in terms of what you're looking at. So there are different levels, endless different levels that this change and this situation we're experiencing now can be expressed from. And one of them is from a holographic five-sense reality, the breaking down of the system, the breaking down of the economic system and stuff can be seen as, oh, this is terrible. And